Do you ever feel like your creativity is both a blessing and a curse in disguise? Creatives often see the world in colors and shapes others miss. We dream up worlds, stories, galaxies. We can go very deep into emotions, and it's something that grabs people. It's something that can even change a person's perspective, and that can influence their whole life. We have a million ideas, but they never leave our notebooks. Putting the dreams out, it seems to be the hardest part. It's the overwhelm of wanting to create, but feeling stuck. It's the pressure to make money from our art, to turn passion into profit. That pressure, that stress, it's a real killer. It reminds me of my grandfather. I'm gonna jump into that little story. But today we're talking about this messy, beautiful struggle, being a creative, and also often being forced to be a creator. Why do we, with a million ideas, often create nothing? Stick around, we're definitely gonna figure it out, and I have the solution for you. So make sure to watch until the end, like and subscribe if you want, and let's go. Good morning, how are you doing? I am filming this video because yesterday I realized something. I am fully lost in the chaos of artistic business. I never thought I could be this monk type person, which I'm not, but like my grandfather was this type of person. Like he never got angry. He never got angry. And my grandmother was a bit annoying, to be honest, sometimes. So he was so calm, and he's like, from that side of the family, the men always have heart issues, but he almost, like, they all passed away by the age of like around 50. But because how he was, and maybe because they did have a good relationship overall, you know, my grandmother, my grandfather, he lived almost 30 years. Yeah. No, more than 30 years. Yeah, like about 30 years more than the people before him. So I see these things, and this is not just a random anecdote. Like there's so many studies on that. Just stress is a silent life shortener. Definitely. It really is. So that is just out of the question. Like pushing yourself, trying to play the capitalism game of just work harder, work more. Yes, people tell you work smarter, not harder, but what does that actually mean? You can't work smarter if you feel the pressure to do certain things. And if you are really creative, you most likely have mental health issues. So we have to do we have to deal with the tools that we have. We can't have some type of ideal fantasy going on that we keep running after. Like the carrot on the stick, where we just keep, and it's really exhausting and you burn out. And that's where in the past, the reason why I was actually not productive is not because now I'm pushing myself every single day and I didn't do that in the past. No. It was because feeling these pressures just led to a burnout, and then I just kind of passed out from creativity for a long time at times. I have a break of a few months where I don't do what I feel like I want to do. And I thought, like, what is that? And I kept going to therapy and all of these things, and I couldn't see what it was until now. I couldn't know. It was this perfectionism, this pressure, this not understanding that I have an artist's brain and what that really means. It's not random chaos. It is a massive pool of ideas and real shit, you know, not just like stupid ideas that don't do anything. But in the past, I never I could never get over so many things, like not believing in myself, so many things like that, so many thoughts, negative thoughts, that I was my own enemy. I kept myself stuck. And I drifted back into these patterns of feeling low and not doing anything. And I was thinking, okay, I'm not doing what I want to do. That means I'm depressed. And that's true. But for some reason, it becomes like a weird thing if you label yourself like that, because you feel powerless to it. You really do, because you feel like you can't solve it. And that's, instead of blaming ourselves and feeling bad about ourselves and feeling bad about our past, like, oh, all of these malevolent people are at fault and are to blame, right? They did me wrong, which is true, they did you wrong, but this is not like, oh, this is my life now, this is what it's gonna be forever. No, this is like, accept how you are as a person, because when you do so, you can finally see the good in it. I had to take myself out actively, and also with the help of therapy, out of this state of feeling like I have to do something specific. There's a right way to do this. It's a real fine line between educating yourself when you watch these type of videos and also feeling the pressure and getting the message that, oh, I have to do this specifically. The more research I did, and you can, if you feel like you want to trust me on that, I did a lot of research on all kinds of self-development, years and years and years. I started doing it before it was cool to do so. And it was out of necessity, because I tried therapy and it didn't work out for me. So I had to be my own therapist. And that's just how it was, right? So if you want to trust on that knowledge, on my experience, I'm going to tell you that the real shit is in the raw truth of the matter. The raw truth of you as a person. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? What inspires you? What drives you? And all of these things, that's so rich. And these are the things that need to be shared. So sometimes it comes out in a product, sometimes it comes out in a video or in a post, right? And you can definitely just do these types of videos like I'm doing. You don't have to show anybody. And you can ask AI to use that. Instead of using AI just to be creative or to get ideas, you use what's already going on. You record yourself when you feel a burst of inspiration or something, some epiphany coming in. And you use AI to put this in a text to get the transcript. You can rewrite it yourself, but you can also use AI to rewrite it a little bit to make it more coherent. And then you can go in and edit it so it is you. That's how I use AI. And that's how I'm able to do so many things. In the end of the day, it always boils down to productivity with capitalism. And we live in capitalism, so we can't just ignore it. A lot of people give you tools to organize things, right? AI just goes like one step beyond that, because it takes your ideas and actually gives you some type of product. And a lot of times, and product is something tangible you can work with. You can put it out. You don't feel like you just have a raw video, you just have a raw audio that you have to edit and do this and that, and it's not going to be great, right? But maybe one day you do take the extra effort to, because you've realized that actually you have something really good going on. When you work on yourself, you develop yourself, you're gonna have golden nuggets of whatever you're doing, because it's rich. It's accumulated from you. It has your essence in it, all of your experience as a human, all of these things, right? All of this good energy and stuff. You're gonna produce these things the more you try, the more you do it, right? You become a creator. So yeah, I guess I just want to encourage everybody to just kind of go with the flow. Don't be so strict with yourself, because just see, like, in a mathematical sense, just like, where do you actually do something? Do you actually do something if you think you have to do something perfectly? It has to be a certain way. Do you actually do something with these beliefs, or do you just procrastinate and never do it? I want to make this content because I grew up as a person who never fit in. And not only that, I think it's kind of evident now after all of these years of research and seeing patterns that all artists are kind of mentally, there's something going on. So I worked for 2 years for a business focusing on e-commerce and social media management. Now, we tried a lot of different content and all of these things. I did a lot of research, all of these things. But at the same time, there is an ideal way to do it, and then there's the real way to do it, right? If we stay in the ideal thing the whole time, we have problems with procrastination, perfectionism, and also feeling the pressure to do certain things at certain times. What I mean by that is, I have a fashion brand now, but my whole life as an artist is not just fashion. Like, yes, I went to fashion school, but the reason that I even got into fashion in the first place is because as a child, I really loved drawing. That was one of my first things. Dancing too, but that's irrelevant to this video. And I also really loved crafting with my hands. I just loved being able to create something with my own hands. I just found that whole, like, transformation from raw materials or something blank to something finished that looks like, you know, it's a creation. I just found that so amazing, and I always loved it. So even though everybody says find a niche or niche and stick with that, like really focus on one thing, like pick one thing, which I understand why they say it, right? Because if we stay in this ideal bubble, perfectionism and all of these things, we never really create anything. We never really put anything out. We might even start a lot of things and not finish them. And it's a little bit of a constant struggle as an artist, I would say, in general, that we just are this way. And I see a lot of people on Instagram saying, putting in their bio, multidisciplinary artist. So it's kind of very apparent that a lot of people don't feel like they can put themselves in a box, right? And that's why I talk about these things so much, of not fitting in, of being authentic and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you can choose to fight yourself in the name of doing it the right way, or you can just go the path of least resistance while still growing as a person, and you do what you naturally want to do. It's extremely important, because I really don't have artist block like other people say. I don't have artist block. Artist block for me only happens when I tell myself, I have to do this one thing now. And to be honest with you, the reason why I'm also spiritual is because in hindsight, things really make so much sense as to why it didn't work out in the past. The reason is why? The reason is because I would have done something different. And you could say, okay, who can say that you wouldn't do something even better in 2 years? But it's not about better. It's about, I wasn't ready. I was truly not ready. So there is a kind of thought of, if something is holding me back so much, am I even meant to do it? I know it's a bit controversial, right? Because I always encourage people to do what their heart wants to do, like positive ways, you know? Create something. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be perfectionistic. Definitely not, right? So I got lost in the chaos, and to be very honest with you, it's mental health related. And a lot of people don't want to say that because it's not very appealing to admit these things, but most artists have mental things, okay? That's what makes our art so have a soul, okay? It's not just a product, it's not just a commodity. Watch my video about commodity trap, because that's the whole thing as well. That's a lot of times why we have an artist block, and why we feel this weird type of pressure, like we feel constriction, but we also don't know what to do next, you know? And all of these ideas, like the longer they're in the back of your mind, it really eats at us, you know, and it makes us feel like we're not really doing what we're supposed to do. I think it adds to this whole, like, negative feeling of existence is when you hold yourself back, when you can't be authentic, when you feel like you're not allowed to be authentic. And it's, for everybody, a problem because of these algorithms now. And popularity and stuff like that. Because let's face it, like most people who have a large following or whatever, they started pretty early, and they started accumulating people from their school, from their college, from whatever. And if you're introverted or if you're just different, you don't have that. So most of us really do start with zero. When we decide that we want to be authentic and we want to show up and we want to just share what makes us, you know? It would be a great world if it was just very easy, you know, but it's not easy. Yeah, we just have to accept that. So the way I work now, getting lost in the chaos, the method is basically play. So what is play? Like, you kind of become a little bit like a child again. When something interests you, you actually look into it a little bit deeper. You allow yourself that time to indulge in something. So when you feel the urge to do something, you kind of just do it in the moment. And funny enough, it's not like every day I just do one thing, you know? That's the whole point. The point is, one day I feel like doing some sewing. I make a piece, I start cutting it. Then it hangs there for 2 weeks, and then I do it. In the past, it would just stay, and that was honestly just my negative self-belief, to be honest with you. So the chaotic way that I am now, I'm doing so much more. I'm doing so much more. I have a YouTube channel. I have Instagram pages, multiple pages. I have a Facebook group and my Facebook and a TikTok, and all of these things would have seemed impossible for me to manage before my mind shifted. I am a single mother. I also have to work part-time, which is not really work. It's more like I'm promoting my fashion, like a part of my collection in a boutique. So I have a few days in the week where I'm not able to really spend a lot of time on anything creative. If I can't do it in the shop, I can't do it, right? You can't just take your sewing machine into the shop and just start sewing there, because people are gonna steal all around you. You're not gonna notice. So I can't do that. So yeah, as you can tell, it's very limited already. Like, I'm not a person that's super productive. I'm gonna be honest with you. So how am I able to do so many things regularly? To be honest with you, I don't have a schedule at all. If I don't feel like doing something for a week, I don't. If I feel like not posting on my YouTube for a month, I don't. And I will be honest with you, if I would push myself a little bit more, it would work out better. But I believe it's just a time issue. It would be faster, right? My YouTube is not growing as much as like my TikTok or whatever because I changed too much. I should have just started a new YouTube, but I just didn't want to for some reason. I wanted to have this whole thing all in once. You know, I wanted to, in a few years' time, be able to go back in time, back to my channel, to my old videos, and just see the progress. You know, I was hoping to do that one day. So, and I will. So I play, right? Like, I had an idea for perfume. And a few weeks later, I come back to it and I actually make a formula, you know? And then a week later, I buy the first things, I try, I test it out. And in a few months' time, I have a perfume. You know what I mean? Instead of just sitting there trying to do the best thing and the perfect thing, the ideal thing. It doesn't exist. It's a lie, it doesn't exist. We want to stay safe, so we want to do something. Obviously, like, you know what? I'm a person who, I like natural things and all kinds of stuff, but that doesn't mean that I don't like luxury and luxurious things. And I say that because I really love quality. I really love quality. It's just something real about it, you know, something substantial. And I really love that. Like when you have something like that in your life, when you have more of these things in your life. Like this chair was very cheap. It's a leather chair, an old leather chair, and it was a bit scratched by a cat. And now it's very much more scratched by my cat. I don't feel bad about it because it was very cheap. It was £15. It was a very ugly leather color, some kind of very strange brown. And I just painted, can you say painted, tinted? It was a painting type process with a sponge, and I made it black. And it was immediately one of the pieces that just looked very luxurious. The mirror as well, I worked in a charity shop, so I got this mirror for £20 because I was working there, otherwise it would have costed 40. So it's still doable, like it's very doable to have quality, luxury, and to have a good life, no matter how much money you have, to be honest with you. I mean, no matter is a bit exaggerated, but you get my point. Because I'm filming these videos at a stage where I don't make a lot of money. And I have to do that because I think it makes it even more clear why the mindset alone is probably the reason why we don't have money. And I'm not saying that in a manifestation type thing and, oh, you're not attracting the right things. I don't like these statements. I don't think they're true because some things just happen when they're supposed to happen. So what are you supposed to do now? That's the real question. What am I supposed to do now? Like, I'm kind of rambling and thinking about these things. And I mean, it helps me to film these videos because it makes things more clear, you know? Like, I really realized how many things I've been doing these past few months. And it's amazing, to be honest with you. It's amazing what we can achieve when we let go and when we don't restrict ourselves with putting ourselves in a box, doing things exactly at certain days. It was very appealing, I think, in the global pandemic, you know, to focus on your home, to really hyper-organize, to be perfect in that sense, because we had so much time to do so. But now we live in different times and things are changing. Things are moving fast, as they have been for the last 50 years, very fast. So I think a lot of us are coming to a point where we ask ourselves, like, what is all of these ideas, all of this, and like, what am I meant to do? What am I supposed to do? You know, these type of questions. And you can only get to the bottom of it when you start doing. When you start feeding into these urges to write, draw, post. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be wow, wow, wow. I also always thought like, one post I just posted once. I would never post the same post multiple times, which I still haven't, but I can definitely see now that the quality of stuff that I do and the way the algorithm is, you can't rely on the algorithm just once, like to put something out and then it happens to reach a certain amount of people and that's it. Like, if I film something very high quality, I might edit it a little bit different. I might try different ways. It's also called A/B testing in marketing. You see the little feet. You see the feet there. Mauro, come, show yourself. Mauro. Yeah, come. 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 Show yourself. You cute, sweet creature. Let's show the cute cat. No, show yourself. You're not showing yourself. He's 1 year old. He's very energetic. Where are you going? Boys. You're a good boy though, right? Aggressive boy sometimes. But also very kind. How can you be kind and aggressive at the same time? Ask a cat. And he treats me differently than he treats my son. My son is still young, so he's very soft with him. But with me, he's like quick to bite and just slap me and stuff. Soft slaps, you know, paw slaps. Anyway. Yeah, I think a lot of us really restrict ourselves a lot. Like, I know people who are not really into TikTok and all of these things. I haven't been on TikTok for a long time. And I just posted a few videos. I also work for someone else to manage their TikTok. And I started a few days ago. They have 100 followers already. And, you know, a few hundred views on each video. And you would say, oh, it's not that impressive, right? Because we're used to these crazy numbers and people coming from a different standpoint. Like, if I come to you 5 years from now and I say, oh, I'm rich in this and that and this and that, that's a whole different thing, and I'm not gonna do that. I will do that when the time comes. I will be in podcasts or whatever, but I'm not gonna wait. That's the whole thing. That's the whole trap. How many people do you know are successful because they waited? Because they were too afraid to put something out that's not perfect. Why are you eating the moss? Now you know why everything has to be natural in this house. Because it is... Okay. Alright. What is wrong with you? He's so pleased with himself. So, now a few points of being careful with going with the flow and being too chaotic and stuff. Sometimes when we have held back for a long time, there's a big burst that comes out, right? Or if we learn something new, like we have AI now, a lot of people are bursting with creativity. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought that AI would foster creativity? But it's because it takes away the mundane stuff. And it kind of gives everybody like ideal statements, you know, like, how can I make money doing this, that? It's optimistic, it feels encouraging, it feels supportive, you know, all of these things. A lot of great stuff going on with AI, to be honest with you. I'm always gonna say that's great because I was one of these people who didn't like AI because it was very ridiculous in the beginning. It was ridiculous when it was still being trained. That's what we don't realize. AI is always progressing, but it was very much in the baby stage with pictures and stuff like that. So it had to pull from other artists. It had to plagiarize. And the more it goes on, the more it became more refined, right? So with AI now, for example, we can have 5 business plans and execute them, or at least try to. Instead of saying you just focus on one of these things for yourself alone, think about it more as in, what is the thing that just, like, where I feel the strongest urge to really kind of complete it, like put it out there, have it happen. And for me, that was the fashion brand. I just felt like I went to fashion school. I keep having like more and more problems working for other people. It just feels like freelancing is the best way for me and making my own money. I was saying I have to do the fashion thing. And I started just experimenting, doing it for myself, because honestly, I felt a gap. I want sustainable things, and I want it in a certain style, and the style I like is not sustainable. So that's what I had to create myself. And I'm like, okay, there must be other people who feel the same way. So I did it. I wore my own things, and I saw and I got feedback. So that got things rolling. And now I understand why I started, and I'm starting to do the content and everything. I think, oh, okay, this, I see like a timeline of how long it takes to really grow this thing, right? So I see, oh, okay, for the first year, it's gonna slowly build up, and then later on the growth is gonna be quicker, which is with a lot of things in life. If you look at stocks, it's the same thing, for example. So now that I know that it's actually slower, and I did the most important thing is which starting, and then keep investing time and effort into it steadily, but not crazy. I don't see the benefit of going all in only. But there are periods where I do have to focus on it alone. For example, a few weeks, I will treat it as a project thing, where I tell myself I'm going to put out this type of collection, which I did with the jewelry, for example. But now I know that it's quite slow, actually, because it is slow fashion and it is higher end. So it doesn't fly off the shelves like fast fashion would. Cool. Because I want to do other things. So now I'm thinking, okay, I wanted to do this webtoon, this and that. Because I waited to do these other things, I put it on the back of my mind for a few years now, this webtoon idea. It's basically like a manga or cartoon that you can watch on your phone, right? Read on your phone. I put it on the back of my mind, and now finally, because there was something nagging me, I'm very good at seeing connections and patterns, and I noticed that they all look so similar, and they all come out with so many stories and so quick. It can't be hand drawn. But it also didn't look like anything else that I recognized, like, I don't know, it didn't look generated, you know what I mean? So I was like, what is this? It's so strange. Are they really using like very cheap labor? Like, are they exploiting some type of artist somewhere that really draw a lot, every day, like animators? Because that definitely seems reasonable. So that's the reason why I held back for so long, because I know it would take me so long to draw every single thing. So now, through my own knowledge, I just found out something. I'm going into a tangent here about my own way of how I come to the point where I'm like actually doing a lot of different things and actually have a lot of potential that is really finally coming out, because talent and potential doesn't get you anywhere if you don't know what to do with it, right? Okay, so with my talent and my brain, I found out that you can use 3D models. You can make a 3D model. For example, I could make one of myself, right? I can make it in an anime style. I can do like the outlines and everything. And then you can always use the 3D to flatten it. It's a bit technical, but it's not that crazy, so just stick with me. So you have this 3D thing, right? Like me, I'm a 3D object or entity. So I can have this angle, flatten it, right? You're looking at it in a 2D way. I can do this angle, I can do this angle, I can do any angle, right? So that brings consistency, which is very difficult as an artist. If you not just draw one nice picture or something or painting, but you have to do like a comic or a series or whatever way. You want the characters also to not look all the same, and they have to, like, you have to recognize them from all angles. It's very, very difficult. That's why these things take so long. But now with the new technology, you can just, instead of using these little figurines, these old school wooden figurines to do that, you make your own 3D model, you learn a new skill, and you have so many opportunities, so many things you can do with that, and you have your own original character. That's amazing. Like, think about that, you know, think about how different that is from the fact, and how fast I can make a webtoon actually, if I do that, right? Obviously, I need to spend a little bit of time to do the 3D thing. You could also pay somebody to do it, which is better than paying somebody to do the whole webtoon and cheaper. But imagine I would have done it years ago, where I just sit down and just draw everything by hand. Which, obviously, it's also cool, right? I'm not going to discredit these things if it happens to happen. But as I said again, I believe things happen or don't happen for a reason. So, because God loves me and God is good and the universe, whatever you want to call it, my higher self, whatever you want to call it, what you desire really is, and I'm saying this as a former pessimist, what you desire is meant for you, in my opinion. Because whatever you desire, you have the drive to get it, right? The problem is, again, when we have 10 different things we want to do. But as I said now, if you go with the flow, if you just be real, be authentic, that's all I did. I just let go. I really worked on like things that kept me stuck in the past, that triggered me. And also, I'm very much into health, and I see that stress. Every time you feel stress, you release cortisol. It's very bad for your heart. It's bad for everything. We can't just eliminate that stress. I'm on my hammock right now to eliminate some stress. We can't eliminate the stress of creativity, right? We can learn how to manage it. We can learn how to be kind to ourselves and just let ourselves create. The real trap isn't that we have too many ideas, it's that we just never start any of them. And when we never start and we keep having ideas, we forget a lot and everything goes to waste. It becomes overwhelming and we end up never putting anything out there. So let's avoid that, right? Start creating and don't be afraid of the outcome, because you can always do something over. And it's the only way we can reap the benefits of creativity, which is all of the opposite things that stress does. It's good for your heart. It does make you live longer. It increases your mental health and it makes your life better overall. That's why I will always share these things. So if you found this valuable, then please let the algorithm demons know that we mean business, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.